Hey guys, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan, and we're taking a look at a Subaru Legacy. This is the BP5 generation with a 2-liter boxer engine and turbo. It is an EJ20 single turbo for this generation. The two previous generations had twin turbos. This single turbo is a very nice, I guess more modern vehicle with the turbo that handles the engine better than the old twins ever did. I really like these cars. Excellent four-wheel drive, good car for the winter in Canada. This one was bought from auction for the purpose of being exported. Overall vehicle condition is pretty good. This is going to be a walk around of the vehicle condition as well as compare to the auction sheet. Okay, so first off, underneath the hood, coolant and oil both look to be normal. The EJ20 looks weird with this engine cover on it. I'm used to seeing the engine without the engine cover, but it is kind of an ugly engine as far as engines go. Sorry to say that, Subaru guys, but it's not as clean and cool as most straight sixes because, valve covers are on the side with this engine instead of on the top. Usually the engines go this way or this way with the valve covers on the top, but a boxer engine is boxer because it runs sideways. It has two pistons this way and two pistons this way, and then the cylinder heads, one on either side, like a Porsche or a Volkswagen Beetle. And not very many companies do the boxer engines, but Subaru loves them. In fact, Subaru didn't make very many non-boxer engines. They did some, like the SVX engine. Wait a second. Oh man, I could be wrong on YouTube. Oh, time to kill myself. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some Googling. But pretty much everything from the 90s on from Subaru has been a boxer engine. Okay, so really nothing much to talk about here. You do have a nice intercooler here that is fed from a nice hood duct here, as well as cool designs on the turbo intake. Well, not really turbo intake. The air for the turbo is intaken through the air filter, but this one here is excess air cooling for the turbo, which is down in here. And the twin turbo used to have one for each bank, but they were progressive, which is a really complicated system because the smaller turbo would be for the lower RPM and the bigger turbo would be for the bigger RPM. And now they've just gone for a single turbo that works better in my opinion. You don't get the boxer rumble with this car that you usually do in the EJ20s though, because this one has equal length headers compared to, the old ones that you got the coming from unequal length. This one sounds smoother and revs smoother, but kind of lacks a little bit of the character of the Subarus because of it. But I mean, it's the same as the Subarus back home as well. The boxer rumble really is a Japanese thing for the EJ20s, especially in the, the Imprezas back home got the EJ25s, kind of a worse engine. Anyway, close it up. We're gonna see how much flaming I get on the in the comment section for this one. I got 4 hours of sleep last night, and so that's going to be my excuse for anything I say that's wrong in this video. Alright, so this one was bought from Arai auction, which is just a little bit of a smaller, weird auction here in the Tokyo area, and they give you a weird style auction sheet, which I usually don't use. We have our own auction sheet that comes from the Arai auction that is formatted differently, so I'm not used to the format of this one. You're going to have to bear with me for a second. So this is the information given from the auction, and apparently Mother Nature really wants to blow the sheet around, so let's see. It's a 2003 Legacy wagon, 2.0 GT, and so 280 horsepower with the automatic transmission, 2-liter, 5 passengers. Auction grade is 3.5 with an interior grade C and an exterior grade C. It's not the top condition version of the car. I mean, you can get these in really good condition if you want, but these are really great value because the price that you pay for them is astonishing, and they work all year round. You can have a lot of fun in this car in the summer because it's a sporty car with the Bilstein suspension that comes stock. These are the stock wheels with the stock suspension, and then you get 280 horsepower, and then in the winter you get the four-wheel drive, and Subarus don't rust as badly as a lot of other manufacturers like Nissan or Mitsubishi, and so despite them being thin, they're thin, more susceptible to dents, but then they don't rust. I don't know why. It's a mystery to me. Okay, so 76,621 kilometers on here. Sales points are roof end spoiler. What a sales point. This car has the stock spoiler that the other 30,000 of these cars that were available came with. It is a cool spoiler, but this one's faded paint. And I'll get back to that in just a bit. First off, we're going to finish all of this. HID headlights come on this one. Comes with navigation, toll collection box, and keyless entry. And then condition report. Oh, Can't read this very well. Rear corner panel and bata panel. So I think this, oh yeah, back is just scratched. Okay, so rear corner panel and back panel are dented. This is the biggest problem on the car, and I'll show you that right away. So this back corner got an ouchie, and I'm a dad, and so ouchie is part of the dad lexicon. So you can see the taillight has an ouchie that's been taped back together. The bumper is not quite on there properly, and then there's some swelling going on there. You're gonna have to put ice on it, son, but you'll be okay. And while we're back here, that exhaust, love it. Other than that, you have the fade on here, you have a little bit of unclear paint on the top, you have some fade on the grill here, and then some scratches down here, and scratches and bad paint down here. These things are marked on the auction sheet. Let me just go over. I'm a little bit disorganized on this one, but that's what the 4 hours of sleep will do for you. Hood duct has fade. Bad writing. Something has fade. I can't read what that says. And the spoiler has fade on the rear, and rear bumper has fade. Okay, and then some marks on here. Seats are dirty, cigarette burn and wear. Trim is dirty and scratched, and steering wheel wear. Dashboard cracked. I'll show you these when we get inside. Various scratches and dents on the car. Door mirror scratched. Front windshield rock chip. Usually that's nothing to be worried about. And interior dirty. Floor carpet dirty. And then looking at the body here, we got some medium dent there. I couldn't really find that. And then the back corner, we have D3, B2 there. And if you're unfamiliar with what these marks mean, it's all presented on our website. F2 is a fade over there, and W3 is the bad paint that's on that back corner there. Okay, so let's do the once around here. We're 7 minutes in already. That's too late for this section, and I'm sorry. I've been taking too much time talking about my sleep patterns. So, good looking car. I think still fairly modern. I really don't like the Legacy after this generation. It became too unquirky. And quirky is a good word in terms of Subaru. They make some of the coolest cars, and they dare to be different. They love station wagons, and I love station wagons, and so that's a good match. The new ones just seem like people stopped drinking the strange sauce and started putting together a car that is too focus grouped. And like most creative endeavors, I think a focus group kills the brightness that is in the mind of people that make things. And so this is the final good generation of the Legacy, in my opinion. Okay, call me Mr. Jump Cuts. Apparently the camera got too hot. That's how hot it is out here. The camera is so hot. It was like, internal camera temperature is too hot. Must shut off camera. And so I let it cool down for a bit. Anyway, front lip here is an STI unit. You can see right there, STI, and I love it. It is a very good addition to the front end of that. And because it says STI, and because the Legacy doesn't really have STI official version of it, except for like the S400 series, like the S401, S402, those ones are limited to like 200 units. It's cool. That's the moral of the story. STI lips are cool. The exhaust is STI too. Got some fade here on the front grille. A little bit of yellowish headlights. I already mentioned the fade on there. There's really nothing else wrong with it. Have a look at the side panels. You see some color difference between the door and the other door there. I'm not sure how I feel about that, because here you can't see it. It might be different on the camera than in real life too. But there's a chance that that door has been repainted. It doesn't have the telltale signs of paint wave, but it is slightly different depending on how the light catches it. I think not most noticeable to most people. Okay, tires are 2018, which is weird. They were just put on, and then someone's like, nope, gonna sell my car now, after I've just spent $800 on new tires. So that's a win, especially because cars like this are usually not more than $800. So it's like buy some buy some tires and get a free Legacy with it. I'd say that's a pretty good deal. The first Legacy we ever bought And don't think that you can get used to this, but the first Legacy that we ever bought was $40. And it was awesome. And it was a turbo model too. It was actually the first car that we ever exported from Pacific Coast Auto. Okay, badge is a little bit discolored, a little bit weird there. Going into the back, a lot of room. That's a big plus. Also, I guess cargo carrier, that's a normal thing. This one doesn't have the dog net. That's an option, I guess, but it does have something really cool. Check this out. Now the Stagia has had this from the beginning, like 1996 is when it started. They had a mechanical switch. You pull it and the seat goes down. This is a electronic one, so you flick the switch and go seats. This one too, woo! And it's so much faster than the Stagia. So if you pull up next to a Stagia, driving one of these, you're like, hey man, you want to have a race? This car would actually be faster than a Stagia in a race, I think. But you can also be faster in a seats race, like, hey you, get off. I hope it's not a stink bug. I'm afraid that if it is, I'll get stinky. Hey, come on. No, climb on my finger. I'll take you to a better place. This is a non-trusting version of a bug. Woo! Oh no, inside the car. There it is. Hockey time. Woo! Hey, if you can fly, why didn't you fly when I flicked you the first time? Oh, bugs these days. Alright. Inside. Push these seats back up. So the Legacy doesn't change an awful lot from the early 90s version until now. It looks more modern, it has some more modern features, it's safer. Look at this, the door has its own little extra latch piece there for extra safety, for side impact. But it feels very familiar to anyone who has possibly owned one of these before. And that's a good thing because they're good. I've owned one. It was very good. I was very happy with it. It's a pretty lightweight car for being four-wheel drive too. I think it's probably only around 1,300 kilos. Okay, door cards are normal. This one has a little bit more wear than you would expect for the mileage on there and on here, but sun has a nasty way of damaging things even when no one's touching it. Power windows are fine. Folding door mirrors are fine. You can watch that with your eyes. Okay, gauges are awesome, and they do this cool little dancing thing when you turn it off or on. Watch this. I'm Subaru. The Japanese lady said, put the card in. Put the card in. It's for the toll collection box. Seats are good. I like Subaru seats. They're not super special, but they're better than your regular seats. They're better than the seats that people have in cars when they don't care when they make the cars, which unfortunately is a lot of the time. Okay, this part here has been upgraded. Every time that they make a new Legacy, they have a new looking dashboard. I think it's pretty modern looking. Cracks are right in the airbag section. You see that? And come on, focus. You can do it. There we go. It's quite dirty inside. It's going to need a good cleaning. It also had one cigarette left in here. I don't have a garbage can this time. This is cigarette cam. Oh no, Marlboros! This is not an ad for cigarettes. If you smoke and you are 35 years old or younger, then there's something wrong with you. And I don't care if people hate me about saying that. Okay, shift's good. Power steering is good. Brakes feel a little bit squishy, but not like something's wrong, just like there's too much air mixed in with the brake fluid. Like the brake fluid is the original that came with the car back in 2003 and has never been changed. So change it, you should be fine. StarTex CarMate. That sounds rad. I don't know what it does. It's super dirty here. And one piece here is broken. Have a quick look. That should have more here and no tape on this section. I don't know if that's a particularly weak area. I think if you pull it out like this and then you lean on it, you punch it, I think it would be prone to damage, but I don't think most people would do that. And we've probably sold like maybe 6 or 7 of this generation of Legacy, and this is the first one I've seen that's broken. But the previous generation to this had a cup holder that was always broken too. So maybe Subaru has a thing against cups, and they engineer in like sections that are going to fail prematurely on purpose. That's a 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter. There's another one in there if you want to use that. There's an echo mode, which nobody wants to use, and then shift yourself function there with buttons on the steering wheel for shifting. So, very cool. Actually, Subaru was one of the first manufacturers to have an automatic transmission with self-shift function in it. They did engineering together with Porsche for their Tiptronic system. I guess Porsche did the engineering and Subaru asked nicely. Okay, a longer video than normal, but I'm only doing one report today, so I've got the energy. Alright, there we have it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.